Dragoon is going to be starting before Mediocrity. Oh, never mind. They're exactly in sync. I was wrong.
Not on my end.
Well, and character control in 3, 2, go. Sorry, I was a little late there.
Alright, I'm gonna be a little bit behind on commentary, but that's fine. I really don't know how to fix it if I'm behind. I only know how to fix it if I'm ahead. Well, yeah, here we have the first screen. It can lag pretty bad on you, but they're both doing a pretty good job of managing the lag on this screen. The biggest culprits besides the sine wave flyers are the 4 bomb dropping enemies that fly overhead, and there's a really good strat to take out all 4 of those and eliminate lag, but it doesn't always work out. It can be rough to pull off sometimes. This should be an interesting matchup. We have Dragoon, who is a veteran of the game, had the world record for a very long time, and we also have Mediocrity, who just recently started learning this game. I think he completed his first run within the past couple days here, so he's still really new to the game.
Pretty new, yeah, and that's one of the things about these groups is, or this format with the round robin, is that each of the groups is going to have some top-tier players in it and some brand new players in it. All the groups are mixed as evenly as we were able to get them. So there are going to be some matches like this. As opposed to, a seeding-based bracket where the first round is either evenly matched or complete slaughter.
Yeah.
But, there's benefits to each of them. So, we're looking at the boss right here. ShiningDragoon is attacking him from the right this time as opposed to the bottom. We've seen him do both in these races. Mediocrity just getting there now. Let's see what strats he uses. He goes from the left. That's interesting. I don't know if we've seen anyone do left side on the Mother Brain boss. And it looks like it takes him an extra cycle. Fortunately, he's got the health for it. The danger of having to go an extra cycle there is you might take too much damage. And you don't want to have to die this early in the race. That would be pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a couple people use the left side on that boss. I don't think I've seen any in the tournament yet, but I definitely have seen people in their PB attempts going from the left side.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dragoon making his way into Area 2. Alright, Area 2, pretty fun area. I really like this part of the game, this part of the speedrun. There's a lot of really neat stuff that you have to do in these rooms here. Like, Areas 2 and 3, I think, are a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Especially when you know the strats. And also really deceptive. Like, you might think that you've mastered this, and then line your run up with somebody else who's better than you, and find that they're saving, like, 5 seconds, 10 seconds in some of these rooms, in some of these parts of this run, and you're like, what the heck is going on? And this is where I, at least personally, started to really focus on, trying to figure out where I was saving frames and losing frames, so not bumping any of these corners, giving your tank a little bit of horizontal momentum when you finally cross one of the corners, so you get, those extra frames of not having to accelerate, and just really being as early with your jumps as possible so you're not wasting any time.
Yeah, I mean, Area 2 is the first time in the game where you have to do a lot of back and forth corner jumping.
Exactly. This is all back and forth, right? It's not a straightforward movement.
And the back and forth corner jumps are the hardest ones to do optimally in this game. Yep. For the reasons you just said, making sure you're cutting it as close to the corner as you can without touching the platform, so that you're not losing frames on extra travel, but also giving yourself enough room to where you're at your full horizontal momentum when you land, so you're not wasting frames re-accelerating also.
Yep, so when you watch somebody who's really good at this game, I mean, this is where you first start to really notice them pulling ahead. There's not really too much that you can do to save time in Area 1, but Area 2 and onward, it starts to really show. And Dragoon making his way all the way up into the boss dungeon already. Mediocrity's having a little trouble in that caterpillar room. That one can be a pretty tricky room. we've all had our problems with that room.
Yeah, I personally think that that's one of the hardest rooms to perform optimally in the game. It's not necessarily the hardest room in the game to get through normally, but trying to get through it optimally can be really, really rough. Because you have all that crazy corner jumping and movement that you have to worry about, and on top of it you also have some pretty precise shots you have to make to be able to take out the caterpillars. Missing a caterpillar usually means you're going to take damage, which is going to throw your whole jumping rhythm off, and you're just going to lose a lot of time on that screen. If not, end up in a lava pit and dead.
Right. Okay, we got a grenade pause going on Goon's stream. What happened? Did something funny happen there at the end? It looked like he moved a little bit. The boss moved a little bit after it was dead, or is that just my imagination?
If you do that, when you unpause, the boss moves for a frame or two and then dies. That means that you unpaused it on the first possible frame you could have.
I see. So he didn't die at the time that you unpaused it, but the leftover grenade from before you paused it finished him off, huh?
Exactly. Yeah, optimally, you want every boss to do that, but it's not worth actually trying for, because you're going to fail it more often than not.
Well, Mediocrity making his way through this boss dungeon here. You'll notice that these guys are pausing at every one of the door transitions, both in the overworld and in these overhead sections. And they're doing that because it saves frames, as you might imagine. I mean, whenever you wonder why is a speedrunner doing a strange thing, that's the answer. It does save time. And the reason is, there's normally a smooth transition. The screen scrolls from one room into the next. And if you go into your menu and come out of your menu, the game just skips that whole scrolling and just pops you right into the next room. So a bit of a trade-off between time spent in the menu and the time that you're saving by skipping the transition. But overall, it works out in your favor to do it, even if you're not super accurate with your pausing. Although there are a few rooms where the time savings is so minimal that most humans are not going to be able to actually save time there. The thing that makes the difference, surprisingly, is the moment you enter the next room, the screen will scroll, might need to adjust itself vertically. Like some of the rooms, the camera is at different positions vertically, and the time that it takes for it to slide through that transition is actually what makes the difference, why some doors are better than others for the pausing.
Yeah, that and also lag in some screens.
That's true, yes. Also, sometimes you get lag while that screen transition is happening. Also, sometimes you'll get different enemy behaviors in the next room, and that's because the enemies will begin to move, whatever their fixed movement pattern is, as soon as they're spawned on the screen, and they actually spawn a little bit later if you're doing the pause versus if you're not. So
yeah,
it's slightly different behavior.
If you let the screen scroll normally, they come into view as the screen's scrolling and start their pathing immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's actually some of the rooms which are considerably harder if you don't pause it, although there are at least, well, we'll say one or two places where I think you get better patterns if you don't do the pause, but I'm just not brave enough to try it and, risk being wrong about saving frames in a speedrun.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I think that the amount of screens where it's beneficial so far outnumbers the screens where it's detrimental to where it's worth doing it on every screen.
Yeah, certainly if you don't do it on every screen, then you don't have the habit, so you have to actually think every time, is this one that I do? Is this one that I don't?
Yeah, it's easier to just do it on every screen and not even have to second guess it. The only exception is you don't want, if you fail one of the door wraps in Area 7 on the skips and you end up accidentally going through the door transition, you never want to pause during that transition because you will soft block. As we've seen happen to Infested Rich recently.
That's right, that happened to him very unfortunately, and that was just habit. It was just muscle memory. You go through a door, you pause, but not while you're screen wrapping.
Unimportant to this category, but in the warpless category, you have to go upwards through the blocks that you skip at the start of Area 5, and if you pause on that screen transition after doing the door wraps, you'll also soft lock.
Whoops.
Yeah. Many runs have been killed doing that in Warpless. Not just for me, but literally everybody that runs Warpless. Oh, Mediocrity looks a little bit lost. Again, this is a really new run and game for him. He just learned it within the past couple days. So he's understandably getting a little bit confused on where to go in a couple places. I mean, this game, it's not the biggest game, but it's definitely large enough and non-linear enough to where you can get lost if you don't know exactly where to go.
Yeah, and admittedly, a lot of this looks all the same. You know, one room looks just like the other sometimes.
Yeah.
Dragoon finishing off that boss. A pretty tricky boss. You can't let one of them get away from you or you've screwed up the whole pattern. Dragoon was low on health there, fortunately. Or, I mean, he was down to his final life there, fortunately, so he could die very quickly. Dragoon, right here, doing something a little unexpected.
He forgot to death warp.
And I wonder if that's just because he's he did most of his work on this game before we switched over to the Japanese version, which allows you to take extra continues that you wouldn't do in the US version. So he missed an opportunity for, well, a fairly marginal time savings. It's not huge, because it takes a long time to die 3 times, and it didn't take him that long to get Area 1.
It's been timed out to be about a 5 to 6 second save.
Right, so moderate, worth doing, because obviously anything that's easy as just dying is better than actually going through a bunch of levels where you could screw something up. But it's not, the end of any race if someone doesn't do it. But he does know how to do the one in Area 1, so he's warped right back here. We're going to do some hover farming. Only enemies that drop hover in this area would be the sinusoid flyers, those flyers that make a beep sound and then fly in a sine pattern. They will drop hovers maybe 1 in 3 times. And there's also what we call the sprinklers. They look basically like sprinklers. There's 1 on the next screen, 2 on the next screen, but nobody in this route goes over there into that room anymore. We all just get them from the sine wave flyers.
Decent hover farm for Dragoon.
Yeah, I was going to say that's pretty solid there, and he takes the death warp to go back to the left side of the screen to save a little bit more time, and to burn off one of his lives, since he's going to need to do a game over warp coming up soon.
That death warp I haven't actually timed, but just educated guess based on splits and stuff, I'm going to estimate it at about 3 seconds. You save about 3 seconds of backtracking time once you consider in the death animation and not having to take one later.
Yeah, the hover mechanic is really fun. It is fun to just drive this tank around and fly it around in different places. Yeah, and there's little secrets you can find too. There's little parts of the level that you can't get to without hover.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I did not like about Blaster Master Overdrive on Wii. Awesome game, loved every minute of it except for the hover mechanic. You can't actually gain any height by hovering. You can't go upwards at all hovering, you just kinda hold your vertical height and move horizontally while hovering.
Mediocrity taking the long way around because he's a little unsure of his health. Is he taking a death? This is normally where we'd take a death to refill your health. I didn't see if he had an accidental death somewhere. He's farming for health in these blocks, so I'm thinking that he probably is on his last life. Out here in the swimming section, though, Dragoon has done what you saw there was a door wrap. We screen wrap by going into a door in directions just before entering it. It is not too difficult a trick to do if you sit there with your own game and just try it for maybe 20 seconds. You can get one. I guarantee you'll be able to get that to work.
Yeah, it's very relaxed timing window on that. It's
right,
not a frame perfect thing. You just have to be facing away from the door with your momentum still going towards the door when you hit the door.
Yep, so not too tricky, although of course if you're doing a whole series of them in a speedrun, you're going to be upset if you miss one, so players do still screw it up, and it is non-trivial, but it is something you can certainly do. Anyway, that lets him get into here without taking the tank, which is good because in order to skip Area 5, Area 4, which these guys did, you end up leaving your tank behind.
Yep. And I mean, you have to go through all of this underwater stuff as Jason anyways, so even with the extra continues that we have in this version, it's not worth it to intentionally game over to get your tank back in Area 5, because you're going to have to leave the tank at the beginning of Area 5 anyways.
Alright, so we should explain this mess of garbage that's on the screen right now. So there is a glitch in this game where you can actually exit the boss room even after the boss has started to spawn. Normally the game does not let you go through doors. Once the boss spawns, it turns off the triggers for the doors. You can't go through them, so you're stuck in that room. However, if you exit that room on the exact frame that the boss has spawned, you can actually get out of the room before the game disables the door, and then you end up fighting the boss in the previous room, where it is much easier to fight that boss. The boss's movement patterns are broken because you're not meant to be fighting that boss there, and it doesn't even fight back, assuming you know which copy of the boss you need to fight, because that room will contain multiple copies of that boss. You just got to fight the next one to the left of the first one that you see. But the nice thing is, on the Japanese version, it's not a frame-perfect trick, and you have any point in time during the fade-out, you can pause the game and it will skip disabling that door. So you actually have an 8-frame window to hit the start button, versus the 1-frame window to walk out the door that you'd have on the US version.
Yeah, and in addition to the 8-frame window, if you're early, you can also just keep pausing until you get it. You have to be trying to mess it up now to mess it up, or you have to be going for the one pause strat,
right,
which is just walking towards the door, pausing, and hoping you got it first pause.
Yeah, you have to be playing it really risky to actually mess it up. Anyone can just mash the start button and get it, even though it's a little slower to do it that way. 8 frames is a broad enough window that you can mash that. So we're on Dragoon. We're on the Area 6 for Dragoon here. This area has ice physics, and it is... I'd say it's got some tricky parts, but I don't think it's really one of the worst levels. Oh, he makes the leap of faith. That's good. That's a jump that we've seen a whole bunch of players fall down at.
Yeah, I missed it.
You did. That's the first time I've ever seen you miss that, so that was unfortunate.
Like I was saying yesterday, I'm like 99% on that jump, and I forget who was saying it, but I totally agreed with what they said, where they were saying that's one of those jumps where you pull it off every time in practice. It becomes such an afterthought, but then it gets in your head during a run where you're like, I haven't screwed this up in 100 runs. This is going to be the time it fails.
This is your day to mess it up.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's
always
the thing.
In your head.
And you start thinking about what you lose if you fall down there. If you fall down, there's a huge time loss, so you really don't want to do that.
You have one of two options if you fall down there. You can sacrifice a life and lose 20 seconds, or you can keep your life count and lose about 45 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would definitely burn the life. But yeah, either way, yeah, exactly. It's a huge time loss. Alright, we're gonna see, let's see if he does the pause strat here. When you pause and unpause, it respawns the bricks. Yes, he did. And so what you do is you sort of jump in the air and then pause and unpause, and then the game forms a bunch of bricks around you to make a little platform so you can do it again. And it's a neat little way of getting up, although there are plenty of other alternatives. Dragoon taking his first death. I don't think I've seen anyone else do the deaths the way he does here. He takes one in this room, and now he's going to take a bunch more damage in this room so that he can do another death on the spikes in the room after this.
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth between this death route and taking a death in the side scroll area and only taking one in the dungeon.
Right.
There's a really good spot that you can just jump out of your tank and die quickly on the way to the dungeon.
I think any place after the Leap of Faith would be an acceptable spot to take a quick death, but I wouldn't want to do it before then.
Yeah, just in case
I missed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I like Dragoon's method. I'm going to do that.
You're going to see Dragoon at 1 health here. The reason for that is when he finishes this boss, he's going to want to die as quickly as he can. He's going to do that by walking on some spikes close to where he spawns, and ideally he only wants to take 1 tick of damage and die.
Yeah, and he is taking a considerable risk. He's on his last life with 1 health left. And that boss, it can go into zombie mode. That boss also shoots several different kinds of projectiles, And if he misses with that grenade, it is very tricky to recover from that without taking any damage. So he may have been risking the... Well, I don't know. Mediocrity's kind of behind him at this point, but in most races, he'd be risking the entire race by going in there without him on health, but that's what he does. And now we see Dragoon doing some more intentional deaths here. This is a nice, convenient spot. And the reason he wants to get those deaths out of the way now is look what he has to work with in this room. This is the area where you have to actually take the death. It's required in this route because we've skipped the key that you game over here. Because there's no way of getting back through that door without the key, so you have to continue warp to the other side of it.
Yep, and something you guys might have noticed Dragoon do when he entered that room is he launched out of his tank and took damage before getting to the ladder. That's a glitch we like to call the ejection seat. If you hit select and jump on the same frame, select is the button that lets you get in and out of your tank. If you hit that and jump on the same frame, you kind of eject out of your tank vertically at a decent clip. You go high enough to do damage when you land. It's really good to do that because it saves a little bit of time over jumping up onto the ladder, because then you only have to jump onto the ladder 3 times. And you can also use it in the Area 2 death warp as well to get up onto the platform. But it's just another neat, interesting glitch in a game that has far too many little weird, glitchy tidbits to it. And we've got Dragoon going back through Area 2 here. The reason he's doing that is because the level order in this game is weird. You go through 1, 2, and 3 pretty linearly, then to get to 4 you have to go back to the very beginning first screen of the game in Area 1. Then from 4 you go on to 5 and 6, and then after 6 you have to go back through 5 and 4, back into 2, or back into 1, then back into 2 where the entrance to 7 is. Then after you beat 7 you have to go back into 2, go to 3, and then the entrance to 8 is inside of Area 3. A lot of people ask how you were supposed to know this stuff back in the day, if you were just supposed to explore. The game instruction manual actually has a map laid out that shows you what levels are accessed from other levels, but like most kids, the majority of players I'm sure didn't really read the book. They just kind of opened the box, got the cart, and went, yay, a game to play.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't even have the instructions. I think I just had a loose cart for this bargain bin stuff. So yeah, good luck figuring that out. But you know, this game's not that complicated. You can make maps.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And you know, it is non-linear, but generally once you've earned one of the items, there's only one thing you can do next. So assuming you find that thing, you're all set.
Yeah, if you find the item, you know you don't have to look for any more dungeon hatches, you just have to look for where the next level is.
Mediocrity taking another shot at Area 3.
He's having a rough time here in Area 3. Photophage is giving him some trouble, which is understandable. That's a really difficult boss.
Hardest boss for me to learn, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, even the top tier players of this game mess up that fight.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if Dragoon does any kind of skips in Area 7. There's a couple of different skips available. He's already skipped the first skip. He skipped the skip. So he's actually played more of this level than he normally would have. If he were going for record attempts or PP attempts, he would be doing a more risky skip that we don't generally do in races because there is an element of RNG to it, and there's a high potential to soft lock.
Well, that one you can't soft lock unless you fail the 6th door wrap and don't pause and unpause to reset the positioning before going back through the door. That's the only risk of a soft lock on the first skip.
Oh, that's true. I guess with this version you're not going to end up in the wall just because you fell wrong, I suppose, right? Unless, yeah. I mean, you could do... There's a couple of different parts to the trick you could screw up, though. So maybe not a soft lock, but you can die.
Yeah, and even if you die, you just get back in your tank and go through the level like normal.
Right.
That's pretty much when I did my race and I did that skip in the race, the second race, that's pretty much what I was telling myself. Like, even if this fails, I can just go through the first part of the level normally, and I still have enough lives to do the second skip and all that fun stuff.
And he pulled it off perfectly. Look at that.
Yeah, what Dragoon did there is he did the door wrap glitch 4 times. Doing that offset the internal collision mapping by 4 tiles, allowing him to walk through a door and go out of bounds into the next room. In that next room, everything was still offset. However, all the platforms are too high off the ground to be able to just walk or jump off of. He used a technique known as crawl dropping, where you crawl along the edge of a platform and drop off. Doing that lowers your character's hitbox, so the game thinks you're falling 3 tiles instead of falling 4, making it do 2 damage instead of outright killing you. Now he did that, fell through, went into another out-of-bounds room, and then paused and unpaused to reset his positioning so he could load the proper room and enter the door, skipping the whole second half of Area 7.
Okay, the frog is down for Dragoon. This one can be a tricky fight because if you miss it, it is really difficult to uncover or to recover, to unscrew up the situation for yourself. Because that frog will jump around. It's random where he jumps, and it's much easier just to kill it the first time around. The strat that you saw, him attacking the frog from above. Look at Dragoon with the extra lives here. Normally you'd burn off some extra lives before coming in here, but he just waited until afterwards because he did not want a game over.
It's a smart move in Area 7.
Well, especially what happened with his other race. I don't know if you managed to catch that, but he was he died in the skip and had to repeat the area. And right there, he messed up the drop. I guess this has been named after me now, but all it is pressing to the right on the D-pad at the right pixel, which is not really all that much to it.
Before you came up with that, we were just kind of going for whatever we could to kind of get in there. Like, Dragoon would fall a certain way and try to cut in. I would fall off the ceiling and hit an enemy and use the damage recoil from the enemy to slip in there. And none of them were really consistent, whereas your strat, it's 100% if you time it right.
It should be, yeah. If you time it right, there shouldn't be too many moving parts. But yeah, that's still... what you saw there, basically getting bumped out by those enemies, that used to happen a lot. Dragoon right now on the ceiling. He doesn't have any hover, it looks like. He did not get hover from any of the enemies. There's 3 enemies that you can kill along the way. Well, he's done 2 of them. There's one more chance. He's got a pink caterpillar that he can get without too much slowdown. He wants a hover drop to make one of the rooms in this area a little easier. Did he not even shoot the caterpillar? I guess not.
He's just going hoverless.
He's just doing hoverless. Well, it's not too bad. You can get over this pit. So you have a couple options. You can take 4 damage in this pit to get through the spikes without doing anything special. You can get some hover from one of the 3 enemies that you can get along the way that drops it. Or you can do a rather difficult trick to jump over that spike.
Ooh, good jump for Dragoon.
Yeah, nice going. So what happens is when your tank drives up to the edge of a platform, the wall 2 technique kicks in, and it actually makes your tank... Oh, wow. Yeah. I just watched Dragoon again on the replay. That really was a nice, no hesitation spike jump. And right there, Dragoon gets through the hardest room in the game. That room is also full of places where you might accidentally activate wall 2 and get knocked down into spikes. So really cruel that they're using a power-up that they gave you against you in the final level, but that's what they're doing here.
Yep. And there was actually a power-up that you were supposed to get in Area 8 that made you invincible to spike damage, but they removed it before the game was released and combined both of the Area 8 bosses into one dungeon. Originally, you were going to fight the first of the 2 Area 8 bosses early on in Area 8, and that would have gave you the spike upgrade to be able to proceed through the rest of Area 8 without wanting to bang your head into the wall because, yeah, Wall 2 upgrade.
You were supposed to... Well, you had an upgrade that makes you, what, invincible to spikes?
Yep. It's actually still in the game. It's just not able to be grabbed anywhere.
I would love to see somebody hack that into it so we could try it. That's cool.
Some of the ROM hacks have reactivated that.
Nice.
Blaster
All right,
Master Pimp Your Ride has Spike reactivated.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
But yeah, the item that drops from the Boss Dragoon is fighting... The Boss Dragoon is fighting now would have been at the beginning of Area 8, in one of the early dungeons into Area 8. You would have fought him there and got the Spike upgrade, allowing you to proceed through the rest of Area 8 to the Plutonium boss.
Yeah, there's definitely a cruel amount of spikes in Area 8. Like,
yeah,
an amount that just exceeds what there should be.
Yeah, and that's just because they had that upgrade and planned the level design around that upgrade, and then last minute decided to just throw both bosses into the same dungeon and never redid any of the level design to account for it.
Yeah.
So we're literally playing through a part of the game that's intended to have a power-up that we can no longer get.
Neat.
Yeah.
Well, we got Swag boss kill, final boss kill. You did not need to fight that boss out there.
30-36.
30-36 is a really solid time. That is...
He just beat my race world record.
Yeah, the race record beat. I just want to see what his PB is.
Oh, no, he didn't. His SRL time was 30-48. My SRL time was 30-44.
So 30-15 is his PB. So he was, well, not very far off of it. You know, just 20 seconds off from his PB, 21 seconds off. So that's really good. That time that he got there, only Scavenger, who's in the call with me now, and I Love Mario are the only two people who have ever gotten times better than that. The time that Dragoon just got in this race.
Yes, and me and I Love Mario have both gotten those times in PB attempts. I've gotten it once in a race, my recent race, but a 30-36 in a race is absolutely absurd. Like, considering the amount of safety strats you have to take in a race, that's an insane time. Considering that he completely skipped the first Area 7 skip, and that skip saves about 50 seconds, and the current world record for this category is 29:44. Yeah,
44. Yep.
He was literally world record pace that run. Other than not doing the first Area 7 skip, that was a world record caliber run. So, excellent performance by Dragoon here. Amazing run. Oh, Mediocrity with the bad death. That's one of the worst places in Area 3 to die.
Probably the worst. He's going back? Oh no, he knows where he's going now. Okay. Yeah, it's tough because the end of that level and the end of that room and the beginning of that room look very much alike. We've seen someone else die at the end of that room and then go the wrong way afterwards. And he's definitely, if this was a Mario Kart game, it would be some obnoxious warning on the screen that you're going the wrong way.
You would have Lakitu in your face just yelling at you endlessly.
Yeah.
I think we're going to end up seeing a forfeit here for Mediocrity.
He just caught on. He's in the IRC now. It's confusing because in that room where he died, the exit door looks just like the entrance door.
Yeah, they're identical.
I think Jam went through it in his run. I think he's the one who died there, and he went through the door. He's like, oh, whoops, turns around, goes the other way. But
yeah, I think that was Jam. I remember that. Well, at least he didn't jam lock yet. That's right. Our buddy Jam has found a soft lock so rare in this game that we've only ever seen it happen once, hence why it's named the Jam Lock. It's essentially if you take your final killing blow on the same frame that you activate Wall 2, You can ride along the ceiling without dropping off of it in your death animation. Then if you happen to get stuck in a place where you can't hit jump to jump down from the ceiling, you are soft locked. It was a really interesting soft lock that I'm glad he shared with all of us.
We're going to stick with the Area 3 background to support our other player here.
Yeah.
Not because I didn't hit the button at the right time.
Yeah, believe it or not, guys, even with all the trouble Mediocrity is having, he's still saying that he really likes this game in the SRL chat. I don't think anybody would blame him at this point if he was like, screw this game and just
never playing this again. I'm done.
Yeah. But I mean, it is a really difficult game. I mean, it's known as one of the more difficult NES games casually, and as a speedrun, at first it's a really hard game. Even once you know what you're doing, there's still a high level of difficulty to it. Yeah, Mediocrity's making his way back through Area 3, back into this laggy caterpillar dropper room. He's got to be kind of careful about his health, because he's down to 1 bar. He can take, well, 0 hits now. Now, you guys will notice it looks like he has a... Oh, that's a bad death. But it looked like he had a empty health meter there. In actuality, he didn't. Even though the game just shows the health is 0 to 8 bars, it's actually keeping track of a spread 0 to 255. So you can get some fractional health amounts that won't cause a full bar to be filled on the life meter. And the life meter doesn't have like fractional bars animated. It's either the bar's full or empty. So it's possible to end up at what looks like 0 HP on your bar, even though internally you're at like 8 HP or whatever. Alright, now this screen here, the next couple screens actually, are a little bit trickier if you don't have the 3-way missiles, which Mediocrity unfortunately is not going to have because of taking a game over. You use the 3-way missiles to take out some of these droppers in this room, and also some of the, I don't even know what to actually call them, the tea kettle things that drop bombs in this room. They take quite a bit of punishment to actually mash down, and some of these areas in the lower part of this room, you really don't have enough time to mash them down without either stopping or them spreading their bombs everywhere.
Right, yeah, it's 4 hits. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
There's 4 hits to kill one of those, so yeah, you can't. It's really hard to approach it without slowing down and kill it before you get close enough to trigger it to drop its bombs. Very hard to do that.
Yeah, and when those things drop their bombs, it's just lag heaven.
Yeah, and bombs do a fair amount of damage, and they take a long time to go away, so you can't just like wait for them. You have to just take the damage. It's pretty unfortunate. There's a bunch of places in the game where those enemies really make it hard for you.
Yep, so, those bombs do 32 damage, which is the equivalent of 2 bars of your health meter.
Alright, Mediocrity coming in here with... just trying to save some health, being a little conservative with the health here. So I assume he's not going to be taken to death in this room.
He's on his last life, I believe.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he took
this
that.
boss is a real showstopper.
Yeah. This, like you said earlier, this is by far the hardest boss to learn in the game. I mean, the crab boss, fighting him without the glitch, I guess is technically harder to fight, but as far as learning the fight, this is the hardest one in the game. Because you have to memorize where each and every location of the spawns is going to be. And then even on top of that, the majority of the time the squares are going to move the same direction every time, but every once in a while you'll get it where the squares will just move different directions than what you're expecting, and it just throws everything off. Oh, he wasn't on his last life. Okay. He's got it. He's got it this time, guys. I believe.
Yeah, full health really helps. He sure knows the pattern, but the movements are kind of tight to be able to get to it and kill it before it disappears. You got to know exactly how far to go. You can't overshoot, or else you're going to waste time walking back to it. He gets things a little bit out of phase, but he does manage to finish that boss off.
Good kill. Alright, good job, Mediocrity. It's good to see him get that boss finally. I bet that felt really good for him too after dying to it a few times. That final grenade had to be like a giant middle finger back to that boss. So now Mediocrity's going to take his deaths to warp back to the beginning of Area 3. After that, he's going to enter Area 2, and he's going to be taking a few more deaths. That's going to warp him back to the beginning of Area 2. I agree with Lateralis in chat. Feasel is making speedrunning great again. Seriously, dude, do you ever sleep? It seems like you're running like tournament streams 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
It's been a busy month for me, but I'm trying to get a few hours in every now and then.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you know how much everybody appreciates the work you put in for all this.
Oh, no problem. I'm glad all these players have come to show off their talents. It's really great to see everyone get enthusiastic about games that I like.
Yeah, it really is neat. I remember when I started running this game, there was 10 or less names on the leaderboard for it, and now we're up to almost 30 on the leaderboards, and a lot of that has just happened in the past couple months since we started up this tournament, so it's really, really neat to see like a game you love start to get a community behind it and a bunch of people running it. Yeah. It seems like that just keeps happening for every game there's a tournament for. I mean, that happened with Zelda 2.
Right.
That happened with Zelda 1. I'm sure it's been happening with Link to the Past. And I know Mega Man 2, a lot of people learned Mega Man 2 for the Get Yourself Speedrunning tournament. Alright, Dirk, let's have a shout out too for everybody that's watching. Thank you guys for focusing your eyeballs on your screens for these races.
Where's this music coming from?
Music.
Oh my goodness, what is that?
It's not on my end.
Oh, I know what it is. It should be fixed in a moment. Okay. Sorry about your ears, guys. I hope your ears recover from that. Well, so Mediocrity now coming up on the hover part. Really fun little section here. He's doing the upward shooting strats, a little bit riskier than shooting sideways. You can
He's also at 0 HP, which is quite risky.
One, I think.
He just picked up one. I
he
keep
did.
forgetting
That's
I'm
what it was.
slightly behind.
That's fine. And he's now into Area 4. Let's see how he does with this screen wrap here.
And again, just to illustrate the point we were making earlier about how easy it is to learn these door wraps, Mediocrity just started learning this game a couple days ago. So you're going to get to see how his door wrap looks after only running it for a couple days, and I'm sure it's not going to take him any longer than a couple seconds to get this. There you go. That simple. Took him maybe 4 attempts, and he's a new runner, so it's not a hard trick. Anybody can pull it off.
Yeah, I remember when I first did this trick, I didn't know how to speedrun this game, but I had watched a couple of runs of it over the years, and I was like, I know there's a thing that the speedrunners do here. It looks kind of like, oh wait, I got it, and that was it. So, not too bad.
That's pretty much how it was for me. When I learned this game, I was lucky, and Big John actually taught me the entire route over the course of an evening. And when he told me how to do that glitch, he was like, alright, here's how you do it. You think you got it? I'm like, dude, I've already pulled it off 3 times. It's so quick and easy to figure out. It's when you hear like glitches in speedruns, you usually think of crazy tight execution windows or frame perfect garbage, and that trick is none of that. It's just really easy and simple.
Making his way down to the depths of the ocean here. Had a little bit of a wrong turn, but he is back on track. I used to make that mistake as well. There's those 2 parts of that room look very similar. These areas here are really tricky to optimize. I think this is probably one of the hardest couple of rooms in the game to do correctly, just because there's so much lag. Oh, he takes the lower strat there. I like that. I just worry about the shell hitting me if I go that way, but that's a neat one. Maybe I'll try that.
Never even thought of that. That's really neat.
Yeah, normally I go above just because you can trigger the shell to go to the right instead of the left. He just took a death in this room. This room that he just took a death in, there's so many different ways of doing it. I honestly don't know what's the fastest. What we're doing now, we call the lagless strat, but it's really more like the less lag strat. I think you can still probably find... I don't know if there is a better way of doing it, but I would... No, not that door.
Well, I mean, there is a couple different ways of going about that room. I think I do that room a little bit differently than everybody else. It seems like a lot of people go up towards the ceiling and then cut down.
Oops, I switched to the wrong background. We're not in the ice level. What am I doing? But yeah, he is in the wrong area at this point. I don't know that I've seen this before. That's... Oh yeah, he knew right away this isn't right.
Yeah, as soon as he entered that dungeon, he just knew things didn't look right.
Well, let's see what's over here. I don't know what's in these things. Let's find out.
Yeah, this could be educational for all of us. I don't think I've seen this dungeon since I was like 7 years old.
Right.
And I'm 84 now, so there you go, guys.
It's a long time. So this, yeah, this area, there's a lot of places in the game that you don't need to go to. A lot of these overhead areas. The speedrun doesn't make all that much use of Jason outside of his tank, but if you were to go for, I don't know if you'd call it 100%, but a run that literally visits everything, you would be doing a lot of Jason parts. A lot of these things get skipped. Because most of these dungeons don't really have anything in them. Well, all of them that don't have bosses, they'll end in something like that. A bunch of blocks, like what you saw there. And there's going to be some gun power-ups and health refills hiding in there. Maybe some missiles. And you're meant to power up your guy's gun. So I don't think we've talked about this at all since the tournament started because it's something that speedrunners completely forget about. But there's another meter on your screen there. That gun meter is never ever filled at all by anything that a speedrunner does, because gun is completely useless in a speedrun because you take so much damage, and every time you take a damage, you lose one of your gun upgrades, which in the speedrun, you're taking damage constantly, so you never have any gun.
Another reason that we don't grab any gun upgrade is because even at its highest level, the total damage output from the max level gun is vastly inferior to grenade spamming. I'm not sure exactly what the discrepancy is, but I just know that max level gun is way, way, way weaker than just even casually spamming grenades. If you're actually mashing like crazy on grenades, you're definitely trumping the damage from the max level gun. I want to say the final boss, the Underworld Lord, takes like 92 grenades or something like that to kill, but if you hit it with the max level gun, it takes like 400 and something hits. So there you go, it's at least a quarter of the power. But I mean, in a casual playthrough, the gun upgrade is going to help you a lot, especially against bosses like the Area 5 Crab boss, because instead of having to get in his face and spam grenades at him, or do some strafe mashing with your short range gun, with the max level gun you can just stay at the bottom of the room, stay strafing so you're facing upwards the whole time, and just mash shoot, and your bullets will take out all of the bubbles and still hit the boss, because the last 2 levels of gun will penetrate through enemies and walls. Oh, do we have another race tonight?
Yeah, I mean, there's another. We have to do another race in this match. Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was another actual like matchup. Okay.
No. I think this is our last. Wait, okay. Let me go check.
No, I'm looking at the schedule now. This is our last one. And while I'm at it, I'll update the brackets as well. What was the score on Dragoon and Zero earlier?
Dragoon 2-1.
Dragoon 2-1. Oh, Zero got one on.
Sure did.
Nice. Go Zero. Alright. Alright, sorry guys, just bear with us right for a minute here. We're just figuring out what we're going to be doing here. It's looking like Mediocrity might be killing this run, so we can just get right into the next race. Make sure you guys follow both of our runners here. I mean, Dragoon, because he's a beast at this game. I mean, world record pace run in a race is ridiculous. And Mediocrity, just for being such a good sport and being willing to race a game that he is very unfamiliar with and just learning against somebody that had the world record for a long time and is still one of the top runners of the game. So make sure you show them both some love, throw them both a follow, stop in their stream, say hi. Remember, this tournament isn't about winning, or I mean, I guess it is about winning, but it's at its core, it's about just getting more people running a great game and having fun. Alright, the second race is going to be starting very, very soon. Just got to open up this new SRL chat window. Alright.
Looks like both players back at the start screen.
Yep, Mediocrity just reset his timer. We're just waiting on both of our racers to ready up in SRL, and the countdown will begin. My money's on Mediocrity this time. He's got Dragoon.
There we go, they're both readied up, so they should be going in a few.
Yep. Alright, the race just started on SRL. Stream delay will take a few seconds to catch up, but other than that, we will be going in just a second. Alright, so here we are at the beginning of race number 2 of this best of 3 series. Dragoon has the edge 1 win to 0 at the moment. Moving through the first screen here, we come across these super laggy bomb dropping enemies. Dragoon does a good job of taking out all 4 and eliminating most of the lag on his screen. The sine wave flyers can kind of pile up and cause you some lag as well. Looks like both of our racers are getting cooperative patterns from the sine waivers. Dragoon doing a little bit of a lag optimization there, shooting that wall walker in the turret room. We have Dragoon splashing in the water. For anybody who's never played this game has very, very awkward underwater control. You can't just hold right and go where you want to go because Jason sinks like a lead anchor. So you can't just hold up either because then you will just swim upwards the whole time. So you got to kind of hold right and feather up on your D-pad while you're swimming.
It's very awkward having to mash the up button to swim. Very strange while you're at the same time going side to side. I use 2 thumbs on the D-pad for most of the swimming sections.
Really?
One thumb to hold forward and the other thumb to just mash on the up button. Gives me a bit more precision.
I'm gonna have to try that. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I got that from River City Ransom, where you have to do lots of holding left or right, or no, holding up or down and double tapping left or right. Very awkward to do that motion.
Yeah.
So 2 thumbs is the solution. Dragoon fights this guy from the right side. I was kind of hoping for yet a different method out of him because he's been doing a couple different things.
Oh, he messed up the execution though.
Yep, a little bit in being low on health. Okay, good. That could have turned into a critical moment there for him, but he's doing fine. There's Mythical taking a little bit of the spotlight. That's okay. Don't feel bad about following these guys. Follow these runners. That's one of the reasons we're doing this tournament. Look at all the great players there are out there. Dragoon, follow Mediocrity or Bust. Back into the tank and now headed to Area 2. We've got the Hyper Beam, which lets us get through this face. I guess it's the closest thing this game has to a mini-boss. But this face right here on the wall cannot be killed until you've got the Hyper Beam. In fact, you can't even use missiles to kill that thing. It has to be... It just is completely invulnerable if you don't have the upgrade.
Yeah. And if you could damage that thing with missiles, but not having the Hyper Beam, it would enable you to essentially just skip the Area 1 boss completely.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe someday, just given how broken this game is, and the people now who are getting into it, maybe someday we will find a level 1 skip.
I mean, you never know. The world record for any percent has come down almost 5 minutes in the past not even year, so...
Right, and this game, we already know that we can go out of bounds by screen scrolling, so... I don't know, maybe there's some little screen
and
wrapping.
There is actually a door.
There's a door there. Yeah.
Exactly vertically north of... Oh man, I have some stuff to try out tonight.
I'm thinking that there could be something, because there is a door in that room. We may be able to get over there. I don't know.
Yeah, I have some stuff to try out tonight. I just got a bunch of ideas. But anyways, this isn't about theory crafting, guys. This is about these 2 racers who are making their ways through Area 2 right now. Dragoon's got a couple rooms of a lead, but nothing too crazy. One big mistake and Mediocrity can catch right back up. Mediocrity taking a bad jump up into the spikes, trying to jump over the caterpillars. Does a little bit of damage, nothing too major though. Those caterpillar jumps are actually tighter timing than they look. It's not a frame perfect thing, but it can't be any more than a 3-frame window.
Yep, and this game does a weird little thing when you cut your jump a little too close to a ledge that you're trying to jump past. You'll actually end up doing a little bit of wall sticking, and that's actually not a bad thing in this area, but it is kind of a weird thing if you're not expecting it to happen.
Yeah, there's a couple spots where you can intentionally try to make that happen, and if it does, it'll save you a little bit of time because it automatically sets you to your maximum fall speed. Whenever you end up wall hugging like that, it ends up instantly dropping you down to the maximum fall speed. Oh no, where's Mediocrity going? He's heading down towards Area 7.
Area 7, it looks like, yeah. A little rerouting here.
We're running the PAL version now, guys.
Yeah, so on the PAL version, it's quite breakable. There's a trick that you can do that lets you get out of bounds pretty easily and skip a whole bunch of stuff.
Yes, there's a double jump glitch where you can pause in the air as Jason and unpause and jump on a specific frame and get infinite jumps. And also, if you get stuck in a wall in the US or Japanese versions, you're just stuck. You soft lock. If you get stuck in a wall in the PAL version, you zip straight upwards.
I love games that try to eject you from the wall once you get in them because fun things happen. Lots of great games are broken that way.
In my opinion, Mega Man 2 would not be nearly as fun of a speedrun if it didn't try to eject you when you get stuck in a ceiling.
Oh, for sure. Like, so many creative things you can do in that game to save time, just because of that one mechanic.
Yep.
And the stuff that the programmers could not possibly have thought of when they were making this.
Well, what I think's funny is the fact that the game ejects you like that is the programmer's way of trying to make it so you can't get stuck in a wall and crash the game.
Sure.
Little did they know that 20 years later we would just be abusing the hell out of that.
Yep.
You know, they try to do something nice for us and make it so we can't get stuck in the game, and we just go, screw your game, devs, we're skipping half of it.
Right.
So basically what I'm saying is speedrunners are jerks and we have no feelings for developers. No care for the feelings of developers.
Speedrunners versus developers, man. We're on different sides of a war.
Yeah.
Well, here we are entering Area 3, which is probably one of my least favorite areas, even though I think it's got some great speedrunning platforming sections. This, especially if you're starting to be really nitpicky about your times, even though there's not any extremely dangerous things in here, there's just so many places where you're going to lose time in your run here.
Yeah, and there's a lot of really minor optimizations in Area 3. Like, you're going to see Dragoon probably doing some in this next room where he's going through this vertical missile room. You'll notice he's jumping and firing the three-way missiles and making it up to the platform all in one jump. That's the fastest way of going about that. There's a safer way where you jump, fire the missiles, land, and then jump on the platform, which loses about a half a second to a second each jump, or each platform, but is much safer. And honestly, unless you're hunting for like a sub 32 time, you don't even need to worry about that extra jump. Just go the safe way.
Question about what is allowed in terms of emulators. We recommend FCEUX because it's the most solid and one of the most solid and accurate emulators. And accuracy is what people care about. There's a lot of pretty bad NES emulators and for other systems, but FCEUX is fine. And we're allowing Nestopia, I believe. That's a fairly benign emulator. And BizHawk was designed by Tassers for Tassers, and lately the trend in tassing has been hardware verifiability, so generally people in that community care about accuracy, so BizHawk, another acceptable choice.
Yes, and the reason for including Nestopia was the fact that some people have legitimate sound issues with FCEUX, and Nestopia is very, very accurate to hardware. It's not going to be as accurate as like a cycle accurate emulator, but what is? Alright, so we have Dragoon here going through Area 3, the end of Area 3.
Yeah, I didn't see how he budgeted his missiles, if he used all of them or if he had any left over, but that's something I usually like to check, you know, what kind of missile usage, because we see some variation there. Even among top players, we see different missile usage.
Yeah.
This corridor here, he's trying to take as much damage, well, not as much damage as he can, he's trying to take a specific amount of damage, because he wants to be killed by a toaster, and the toasters don't do a full box of health, they do less than a box of damage to you, so you gotta make sure that you're...
He did use all his missiles.
He used them all. Cool. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And there we go. If he gets killed in one hit from that toaster there, then he did this whole section right. Takes him 2 hits, then he failed. And he's going to have to live with that half of a second of extra time. Okay, so let's see what Photophage looks like. Right.
He had a dirty tank. He wanted to clean it.
Those little pools, those little lava pools are pretty tricky, and once you get stuck in one, the damage that you take from them stuns your tank so you can't jump out. It's pretty cruel. But we had a great fight against Photophage there from ShiningDragoon. Essentially, anytime you see all of them killed before taking an extra cycle, you know it's a good fight.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a fast one cycle or a slow one cycle, but any one cycle is acceptable.
Exactly. So it takes the death, backtracking from Area 2 to Area 1 to Area 4, which you won't see very much of. Maybe we should talk a little bit about Area 4. That's where these guys are headed now, or that's where Dragoon is headed now. And that's, there's a boss of that is a frog. The frog is the similar looking as the frog that you'd see in Area 7, except a slightly different palette. And the thing you get from that frog is a key. That key lets you get through a door. The only thing it does is let you get through the door to Area 6. That's all. But because we can do this screen wrapping glitch, we don't need to get that key. We can screen wrap right through there, and we skip all of Area 4, which is sort of like a cave/sewer kind of thing going on. And there's another category of this game which we call no death warps now?
We're calling it warpless now.
Warpless, okay.
Because you can't reset warp or death warp.
Right. Deathless, no death warps was kind of a bad title because you could die, you just couldn't game over warp.
Yeah.
But
people used to call it deathless as well, which I mean, as a Zelda 2 runner, I can't call anything deathless that isn't truly deathless.
Yeah, exactly. So
Dragoon,
did he
no.
miss it?
It's too close to the platform. He's not
Is
gonna
it?
be able
He
to grab
can't
it.
get it?
Okay. Sometimes
Alright.
if the hovers spawn where they're like clipping into a platform like that, you just cannot grab them.
Yeah, it's weird because you'd think, how could you have shot the enemy on that spot if the enemy was in a wall so far that you can't even collect the thing it drops, right? It seems like a contradiction, but it might be like a one frame kind of deal, like you hit it and in the same frame it moves over one more pixel and it's too far in. I don't know, it's probably something like that.
I think what it is maybe the hitboxes on the drops are super small and centered in the drop, so it's possible for the hitbox part of the drop to be entirely in the platform while half of it is sticking out.
Yeah, that could be.
But I can't say that for sure. That's just my best guess based on having it happen to me a bunch of times.
Well, I mean, the fact is the tank's hitbox for when you bump into a wall is located at the front of the tank. What looks like the physical front of the tank when the tank is in the flat position, not the pointing upward position. That's, if you bump into a wall at the front of your tank, you stop. But the actual spot where your tank takes damage, which I think may be the same as the hitbox for which your tank collects items, is only the middle third of the tank. So it may be
probably it.
Yeah, that you can't get far enough into the wall for the middle of your tank to touch the power-up. That must be it.
Or even I'm willing to bet it's a combination of both of those things.
Yeah, it could be. Mm-hmm. So we see Dragoon taking a more traditional route through here than what we saw in the other race. And he's got a fair amount of health here. This is an area where you might see someone coming through here with no health and someone coming through here with full health. Part of that has to do with the drop luck that you get, but also a lot of it has to do with the fact that this is just a really tricky section to do. And he did almost damageless, so that was really good.
And Dragoon's used to that. He's really experienced in running the warpless category, and in warpless you have to try to not get hit at all. No reset warps in any percent. You want to take damage in that room because you're setting up for a quick death abuse when you enter the dungeon, whereas warpless you optimally never want to die at all because any death is wasting time with a death animation and a lives remaining screen.
Right, yeah. So, you might do it to restore your health, but you are losing time. The only reason why in other categories you do take these deaths just to refill your health is that you'll eventually need to burn off those lives anyway, so you may as well do it in a place that's helpful. Like what we saw Dragoon do just there. Okay, crab boss time. Trick here is you need to pause it during the 8 frames in which the screen is fading to black.
Got the one pause.
He did it with one pause. See, he didn't need to do that. He could have sat there and mashed the pause button until he got the trick, but he went for the optimal strats.
Yeah, I mean, he in no way, shape, or form needed to do that. That was ballsy.
Okay, we've got MediocrityOrBust coming in for the grudge match against Photophage. Let's see.
He gave Photophage one middle finger last time.
It's true.
Let's see if he can do it again.
He's already struck a blow, so maybe this time it'll go better for him.
Alright, he's at 2 bars of health.
That's not going to go well, so maybe next time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't beat this guy with 2 bars of health, so...
He's going to take an optimal intentional death here and refill his life, and then he's going to fight him again. Or he's going to be a liar and just
he's going to clutch it out.
Boss. Oh, I thought he had it.
Man.
You know what? My hat's off to him. That was a valiant effort.
I wouldn't have gotten that far on 2 bars of health.
That was clutch making it that far. Good job by Mediocrity. I really wanted to see him pull that off. That would have been amazing. Like, took a bunch of damage right off the bat.
He might still be okay. Oh, it's
missing
looking a little dangerous here. Yeah, missing a cycle. He's down to 3 bars. I'm really nervous right now. Come on. 2 bars. I think he got it. Oh, good. Oh, man.
Whew. Okay. Meanwhile, Dragoon's coming up on the Leap of Faith in another room here.
That's the next one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the room. I always confuse these 2 rooms, but yeah, it's this one.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did, was confused him. That's why I stopped mid-sentence and was like, in another room. Yeah.
Right. So he makes it, no problem. Yeah, if you fall down, you can get back up, but it's going to take a long time. So, good thing he didn't miss that.
Indeed. Alright, he's going to be switching over to the homing missiles that he just picked up through those blocks. The reason we take the lower route in that room is because A, first and foremost, it's the fastest route through that room. And B, because there's that conveniently placed homing missile drop in the middle of those blocks. Those allow you to get through the room Dragoons right now without taking any damage or having to stop at all. They're also useful leaving Area 6 on the way out, but that's not going to be an issue in this category.
Right, because we're not going that way. We're actually going to death warp out of here, continue warp out of here. This room that Dragoon's going through right here, you can make some use out of the missiles there, but it's really tricky because the missiles create a lot of lag, so you need to use them just right so that you're not making it worse for yourself.
Yeah, unless you're executing it pretty much perfectly, you're just causing more lag for yourself.
Yeah, because you don't want all the missiles, because it fires 1 missile for every enemy on the screen, so it like doubles the number of sprites, which is a recipe for lag. But you can do some weird stuff, like you spawn the flies for just a moment by jumping, fire the missiles pick their targets, and then you scroll those enemies off the screen. Then the missiles go off the top of the screen, and they sort of like wait there right off the top of the screen, as do the enemies. So that then the next time you jump up and scroll the screen up a little bit more, it kills all those enemies instantly. And if you time that all just right, you can actually kill them all with missiles without creating lag, but it is a really fragile thing. Yeah, so we're coming up on... Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I'd almost recommend just not even trying the missile strats in that room and just going with a well-executed normal shot strategy.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't recommend
it. Like what me and Dragoon go with.
I wouldn't recommend it either. It's just fun to play around with because I think there might be something there, just in terms of minor frame savings. So Mediocrity doing the flying part here, the hover section. This is actually real. Oh, see, I shouldn't have said it. That's one of the 2 things that can happen to you if you. Is that the right thing to? Yeah, that's the right thing to do. I think that if you... he wants to respawn the... Yeah, he's got to respawn the flashing hovers.
But he still needs to go farm hovers to be able to get back up
Yeah, he's got to get 3 more, but the thing is, he consumed a couple of those flashing H's, so he needed to get those things to respawn, otherwise he's going to have to pick up 8 hovers here instead of 3. And I think... you need to game. I was going to say, I think you need to game over to get those to come back, right? I don't think a simple death is enough.
To
be honest, I've never checked, but I always assumed it was a game over that you needed.
Yeah, I mean, if I get knocked down during that, or if I clip a ceiling, I just try hovering up again, and if I can't make it up on the second hover attempt, I just reset. And that's actually something I should probably learn for race purposes, in case, you know, I'm in that situation in a race.
Yeah, it's interesting. As I'm Chris Luke pointed out in the chat, he's using the vertical shot method, and that's something I noticed the first time, the first race that he was doing that, and that's like a pretty advanced strat. It's a bit harder to do things that way.
It's only really effective if you're facing away from the wall while you're doing it, because of the way your hitbox shifts when you're facing left and right and aiming vertically.
Yeah, so it's you can go and shoot those whatever you call those things, those golems. You can shoot them from below, and that actually lets you cut the corner as tightly as possible. But what most everybody does is they kind of zoom out to the right as they're hovering up past the platform, and then shoot the golem left to the left, and then move leftwards onto the ledge, and that's much safer. And it avoids the two main problems there, which is hitting the golem, which is going to immediately disconnect your hover. It'll stop your hover from working once you touch an enemy. And if that happens, you're done. There's no recovering from that. And the other thing that you might do is bump your tank against the ceiling if you're cutting one of the corners a little too tight, which also is going to stop your hover and make you, not have enough to be able to finish that section. So that's why people generally waste some frames going a little bit too far to the right, just so they can be safe.
Now, it is possible to cut it as tightly as you possibly can and still use the horizontal shot and be fine. But if the golem jumps at you, it's pretty much a frame-perfect shot to hit it without it hitting you. So I don't recommend doing that at all either. Like Feasel here just said, just waste a few frames cutting it wide and be safe. There's no sense in losing a run 15 minutes into it just because of a few frames. Especially not if you're just learning this game and a new runner. It's just not worth it. Alright, Dragoon's going through Area 7. Also known as the home of the best music in the game. I don't care what Greenleaf Effect says.
Right, and a pretty radical tile set too. I mean, look at this.
Yeah, I mean, all that orange and brown.
All that orange,
I love exactly. That. It's like Cleveland Browns diarrhea on my screen.
Well, Mediocrity has made the key skip successfully. He's now in the swimming section. He's going to do 3 of these screen wraps through the door here. He knows how to do this.
And again, that's just offsetting his internal collision detection by 1 tile every time he does that. After 3 times, it offsets the tiles by 3 places to the right, allowing him to swim what appears to be underneath that wall. And then by pausing and unpausing, it's resetting his internal positioning and allowing him to continue on through to the rest of the level. The reason we need to do that is because we left the tank back in Area 4. We could game over and get our tank back and be able to shoot through those blocks and continue on, but you have to leave your tank here anyways, where Mediocrity just swam by. That's as far as you can take your tank in Area 5. You have to get out and go as Jason for the rest of it.
Well, Dragoon missing a jump there, falling down into the lava at the bottom, loses a life. He's still okay. He needs... Oh, he's not going to do it. Yeah. Not going to throw this run away on missing the skip. But he could have done the skip there, the part 2 of the skip. By taking a death, he would have had to take a death there. Or I guess he could have done what we saw 09 do and just pick up the flashing P in the dungeon area.
I feel like that's slower than just taking the death.
Yeah, if you've got a life left, definitely use the life, but maybe just for a matter of having an extra life left over in case you screw up one of the lava skips or something.
Safety purposes, good call.
Yeah, but Dragoon is going through this section the normal way. This is how we all used to do things until what was known as the task skip. People actually started doing for real back when it was a double frame perfect trick with a really complicated setup
I don't know what you're talking about. That was totally marathon safe.
Crazy, insane. Yeah, if you get it in a marathon, it's forever going to be a marathon safe strat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that. Fortunately, the skips that we do now in Area 7 rather, are not nearly as hard. There's a lot of knowledge required. You have to know exactly how it works and where to do your jumps and your crawl drops, but it's not really that execution heavy. So Dragoon fighting the frog, fights him from the top, and he moves down just far enough. He's using one of the spots on the frog's back to line up his feet. That helps him determine exactly where to stand. If you stand too high, you can still hit the frog, but it'll make a really obnoxious sound that masks the audio cue that you need to know when to unpause. So you gotta stand just far enough south that you don't end up hitting that spot that makes the funny noise.
Alright, so here we have Mediocrity going into the crab boss. See if he can tame Zoidberg here, see if he can do the glitch.
Got the glitch.
Got it.
Did he get it in one pause? Dang.
He had the one pause. He did the extra safety pause because he wasn't sure, but he had the one pause. Good job, Mediocrity. Standing a little bit too high. Oh, no. Oh, that's awful. Ouch. He just got harassed by that toaster while he was trying to fight the boss. And
yeah, that's a tough thing because those... You can't really stop and kill those enemies once you've spawned the boss. As soon as you've done that trick, you need to go through that door real fast and get right over to that boss, because you're on a bit of a timer. If you don't do that and then the boss begins to move, it has some really strange effect with the glitched out screen. It actually pushes your character away from the boss, and it makes it impossible to reach him sometimes.
Yes, because of the way this game handles bosses, they're not handled as a large sprite object, they're handled as an animated background layer. So when you let the boss move before you get in position, whenever the boss moves, because it's essentially part of the background, it's causing the entire background and screen to move. And the way the game's automatically trying to keep its camera centered on Jason just forces Jason around like a ragdoll.
Yep, yeah, you're essentially on a big conveyor belt that you can't struggle against. You're just stuck. Dragoon doing ceiling strats there? What is he doing that for? Okay.
He's laughing and smiling on his stream. He's just goofing around.
He's just goofing, I guess?
Yeah, he's just having fun with it. I think he knows that he's got this race, so he's just
hover drop. Yes,
kind of hanging out and having fun.
Okay. Well, he got a hover drop from the pink caterpillar, so that's good. That was his final chance to get it.
Swag spike damage boost and cut into the platform.
And yet he takes ceiling here. This guy's all over the place. I love his choices. I love it.
Yeah, he's putting on an amusing show for us here.
Right, he's doing way too difficult strats and then way too easy strats. Just alternating back and forth.
Oh, I love Dragoon. This dude cracks me up. I'm so glad I was roommating with him at AGDQ. It was a fun time. Ooh, how is he alive? Okay.
He's zombied.
He was at 1 bar of health and he went into the spikes, which should have killed him, but somehow he came out with 1 health.
He may have hit a caterpillar as he went into the spikes.
There was no caterpillar.
There was nothing? Oh, you're right.
There was no caterpillar to hit.
Bizarre.
Yeah. Dragoon's running a hacked ROM confirmed. No, I'm kidding. He's running a legit Japanese cart.
That was a good room there. He that's the lag room, and he actually killed a good set of enemies there to reduce the lag.
Yeah, optimally, that's how you want it to go. You want to kill that first flyer as soon as you can, and then you want to drop down, kill that second flyer, and if you have the extra power meter to do it, you want to intentionally land on that mine, because killing 2 flyers in a mine reduces more lag than killing 3 flyers.
Yep, and that lag is the lag is just so great there that you have to do something about it. Anything that you can kill helps, really.
And a nice bonus of it is, because of how much lag is on that screen, usually when you land on that mine, it's not going to spew its projectiles because it's already at its sprite limit.
Yep.
If it does spew any projectiles, it's literally 1 or 2.
So, Dragoon coming into the final boss here. Let's see which version of the broken final boss fight he's going to do this time for us.
Let's hope he doesn't soft lock it. Whoa!
What's going on in this room right now?
He glitched out the plutonium boss.
Is that what I'm looking at?
I've never seen
I've never seen this before either. What is he doing?
Dragoon, you win. You win, bro. He glitched out the plutonium boss and fought him in the previous room. Yeah, Dragoon, you are amazing, bro.
Zero 09 did something else that I think it wasn't quite the same thing. Oh, meanwhile, MediocrityOrBust has got to fight the crab boss legit. Very difficult.
So, now you guys actually get to see Zoidberg and not just some random glitchy sprite on a wall. He's this dancing reddish pink lobster douchebag on Mediocrity's screen. If you don't get the glitch against him, he will ruin your day. And back when it was still a frame perfect glitch to actually get the glitch, 95% of your runs were going to die to that boss.
Oh yeah, most of the runs did not get past Crab.
Even more fun was when we had the frame perfect or soft lock variation of the Area 7 skip. 95% of your runs would die to Zoidberg, and the ones that finally made it past Zoidberg were probably going to die to a soft lock on the frame perfect glitch.
Alright, let's give Mediocrity some support by changing backgrounds here.
Yep, you guys will get to see more Zoidberg in the middle of that background.
Why are we playing the J version? There's a couple of good reasons for it that make it a bit more pleasant to speedrun. Because, for one thing, it gives you unlimited continues. That makes the game a lot more accessible to new players. It also means that, as far as the speedrun goes, there's more room for us to find creative ways to use game overs and continues to warp around. So in this category, that's kind of a cool feature. The biggest thing, though, the thing that really makes people love the Japanese version for this, is that the crab boss, the crab glitch, is no longer a 1-frame trick. Now you have an 8-frame window to do the crab glitch, which makes this game so much better for people who are new to the game and want to join a tournament like this. If we were not playing in the Japanese version, basically all the races that you're watching in this tournament wouldn't mean anything until someone's past the crab boss. It would just be, completely unbalanced, and, someone would get the crab first try, someone else would end up game overing at the crab, and that would be end of the race, basically. So this makes it a lot more skill-based. Not that there's any randomness in getting the crab glitch. It's just that a 1-frame trick, even the best speedrunners are not going to be getting consistent.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking 1/60th of a second.
Right, but it is marathon safe because I've done it in a marathon.
Yeah, I mean, it is a marathon safe trick, don't get me wrong, but it is 1/60th of a second.
Right. It's not actually marathon safe. I'm just kidding about it.
Oh no, I'm not kidding. It is marathon safe.
Okay, all right.
It happened once. It can happen every time. That's how it works, right? In all seriousness, though, I should not have tried that in a marathon, and I'm a dummy for going for it. And realistically, that should not have worked. I mean, I just got extremely lucky of a second.
Right, but it is marathon safe. Coming up on the crab boss here again for MediocrityOrBust. I think he's going to have no problem with it this time. I'm wondering if he didn't trigger the boss as being dead, right? He didn't kill that boss before he died last time, correct? So he actually is going to have to do this boss fight.
Yeah, he died either he was killing the boss or right before he killed the boss from the toaster. It's looking like Dragoon is possibly going to be joining us in the call shortly here. Alright, guys. Let's get some hype in this chat for mediocrity.
A little bit of background music.
And again, guys, make sure you throw both of our runners here a follow. They're both awesome guys, awesome gamers. Again, Mediocrity just learned this game a couple days ago, and this is not a game that is friendly to people trying to learn it in a day or two. It took me about a week to get my first run finished, and that was not a good time by any means. So give him lots of credit for even joining this tournament and being willing to go against a beast of Blaster Master here in Dragoon. Is the Discord chat room locked or something?
What?
Is there like any kind of like restrictions on the Discord chat room? Dragoon says that he needs permission to get in or something.
What? Alright. Hold on, let me pull him in.
Alright, there we go. We are now joined by ShiningDragoon, who has his mic muted in Discord. So if you're talking, we can't hear you, buddy.
I was talking to my brother too, so while everyone was getting situated, I just chatted off for a little bit.
I gotcha.
Just give me 1 second.
No problem.
He was asking me what Fire Emblem was supposed to start with 3 games.
Yeah, your mic is coming through extremely, like, distorted or something. It sounds really weird.
Let me just restart my entire universe.
Make sure it's choosing the right microphone and not like defaulting to your webcam or something like that.
Yeah. I have to do that every time I use Discord because it automatically wants to use my my blue snowball as my mic, even though when I do these restreams I'm using my headset. And I've set it as like the headset as the default microphone for Discord so many times, and every time it's just like, nope, I'm gonna put it right back on the snowball for no reason.
Well, here we are in the ice level. This is... Oh, don't go through that wall. I've accidentally shot through that wall and slipped off the ledge where those homing missiles are.
Well,
Whoops.
Shooting through that wall is actually a part of the warpless route now. The warpless route used to go all the way up to the top like, you know, this category is right now, what we're seeing Mediocrity do.
Right, what do they do now?
The new warpless route, you have to get to Area 6 with at least 5.5 bars of hover. You shoot through that wall, you roll to the very edge of the platform, you do a full jump, and you hover all the way up to the top.
So that would be faster in this route too if we had some place to get hover at this point.
Yeah, there's nowhere to get hover on the way though.
Neat. That's a neat little thing. I actually hadn't realized that was... Yep. That's the new strat now.
It saves about 20 seconds over climbing all the way up. Because you're essentially cutting diagonally through the room the whole way.
Sure. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. The platform with the little mine on it is where you land after the hover.
He's going... This is a neat method there. He's not going to take any chances with that mine. Yeah, that's a little tricky. If you don't know how to deal with the little stun that it does to you, you might end up falling in the pit there. So right here, he's got a bunch of caterpillars dogging him, but he manages to get past. So that's good.
Yeah, taking the safe route going up top, which is not really a time loss. It's maybe, if you can kill the caterpillars quickly like he did there, you're only losing about a half a second by taking the top route.
Yeah, honestly, the way he did that right there, that was a perfect execution of the safe route.
Yeah.
And here, he's taken well, he went the wrong way there, but I mean, he's taken, previous to that, he actually missed an opportunity to pick up some homing missiles that we often get in the route. He just went high instead of low in that one section and missed them, but it's pretty marginal, the time savings from getting those. In fact, I don't think Dragoon even got those, did he? I don't think he used homing missiles at all in this area.
Yeah, he did. He used it in the room that Mediocrity's in right now.
Oh, he did? He used that one there?
Yeah, the only place you need to use them in this room
Right
is
there.
this enemy that spawns right here. Yeah. The next two that drop off the ceiling you can take out with your regular shot as they spawn.
Right, yeah, it's just the one, so you use a homing missile for that. The TAS actually uses lightning, which is a power-up that you won't see in a speed run by humans, because the lightning is so random that you can't really aim with it.
Yeah, I can go straight down, slightly left, slightly right, or extreme left, extreme right. It's got 5 possible directions that the lightning can arc out. And they're all downwards. I mean, it's just down, down with some slight left, or down with a lot of left. Like, that's why it's not really used in a speedrun. However, if you can use it in a speedrun and actually kill something with it and get a good run, that is a PB you want highlighted forever and ever.
It's awesome when you use lightning and it actually works for you.
Yeah.
Alright, well, MediocrityOrBust playing a little bit of Arkanoid there, but he manages to make his way through the bricks. And he is into the boss dungeon. He actually did really well with the ice level. He had that one fall, but other than that, he is certainly showing that he knows the route. He's put in the time to practice this, even though he hasn't had much time to get up to speed. He's definitely holding his own.
Is if he's using the Arkanoid controller.
Oh yeah, if he's using the Vows.
We might have to discuss the legitimacy of using that controller.
Man, we should have a tournament where you just use that controller for as many games as we can think of. It's like, alright, punch out, get the Vows controller.
Oh man. Zelda 2 with an Arkanoid controller.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Oh man.
Okay, so this part, that spot that he died at there, that is really tricky, because the spikes are sticky and the ice is slippery. So you're constantly switching between having some traction and like zipping across the ice and bumping into the other spikes. I can't tell you nope, that's not it, man. Go back to left. There you go. I can't tell you the number of times I've bounced back and forth between those two spikes until I was dead. Lost a whole, 8 bars of health just screwing up that one move.
We're talking about the ping pong since I'm in the gym on that.
I was talking about that room where the second death that you normally take in the ice dungeon, the ice boss's dungeon. Yeah, on those spikes, in that room right there. Ooh.
He paused while he was getting hit.
Yeah, he double KO'd himself, and now we get to see if that practice on Area 6 has paid off.
Oh, was that his last line?
It was. Yeah, he had a fall at some point. It was not the leap of faith, but it was the room before that he fell.
I saw he did that part, right? It's literally the part where I started launching.
I don't know where his other death was. Where would it have been?
Maybe
Where can you die here?
Doesn't make sense.
I don't recall where he died at.
That run was just a weirdly sloppy run. At the end, I just tried to embrace it. I just went like all the strats I never do. So it's like, oh, I'll go on the ceiling now. Let's just ride this ceiling the entire way. Why not?
Me and Fiesel were both commenting on how oddly selective you were with going for some hard strats and then skipping some easy strats. And then, yeah, that swag double final boss glitch kill. That was... I strongly recommend you go watch the past broadcast of this race after the fact, because I was legitimately shocked to see that. Like, that was good.
Pretty amusing.
I'll probably not do the first one anymore, but I'm planning on doing that second boss kill every single run because I screwed it up in that one soft lock. I just have to do it now. It doesn't
Really?
matter who it is I'm against, I'm doing it. Even if that
Really?
makes me lose the race, I'm doing it.
That's good to know.
Leap of Faith room again. He goes with a vertical shot that time to take out the caterpillar. And he's through it. That's good. So far, so good.
It's probably the safest way of doing it, really.
I think so.
So I remember I think my problem back in the day was I was doing it on emulator. So I was trying to do the stupid leap of faith, and I would always manage to like roll off because of the emulator delay. I hadn't had enough practice on emulator, I guess. So I would try to do like a jump attack, and half the time I get knocked backwards because I missed the enemy.
One of the hardest rooms in this area right here, Mediocrity or Bust. Managed to make it through it. Looked like it might get a little dicey because he messed up that last part, but he recovered nicely. Oops, missed a jump there, and with those caterpillars stunning you, it's actually really tough to jump out of these pits. Because they track you, and they move as fast as you, basically, almost as fast as you. So once they're on top of you, you're basically stuck unless you can time your jump so that you're right in the middle of your iframes wearing off when you do the next jump, and you can get out of it. But yeah, you see him getting hung up there. This is a really common thing. This happens to me sometimes too. You get knocked around, you get ice physics. Well, I don't know if there's ice physics there.
There is.
Well, ice physics just mess you up in general when it comes to these stupid caterpillars, because you're barely faster than them in the first place. Then with ice, you can't accelerate fast enough to get out of it.
That's right, yeah, and once they knock you and they push you in some direction, you keep that momentum that you have to cancel out, and it's not fun.
But he's doing a lot better than last time.
Do you think it's possible to glitch your way into Area 7 through into Area 6 through the outdoor? You know, the room where we used to use the homing missiles, where we would use the homing missiles to blow up all those things. Do you think we could door wrap there somehow to may have to go off the left?
If you door wrapped there, you would fall to your death as soon as you came out of the door wrap.
Do you think, or would you be stuck in the wall?
No.
Either way, I think we I tried it along with some other people, but I think we couldn't find anywhere in Area 6 that worked right. Just the map, the way the map is laid out, it doesn't work for the door wraps to get anywhere nice. The only thing you can do really is on the PAL version, you can do zips, and I think you can get to the boss room that way.
Version, you're not playing any of the games, so why would you even be at that point? But yeah, if you made some version of it, like in all bosses.
The other direction. Well, he made it anyway. But yeah, you could do a PAL all boss.
Yeah, PAL all boss, maybe that'd be useful. Alright, he's coming at this boss from below. We won't see a lot of people fighting this guy this way, and look at that. That's the reason why you don't. Look at those two giant fireball clusters that spawned. Is he being double KO'd? I can't even tell. No, he's alive.
No. He's got a hold left as soon as he unpauses.
Oh, he's zombieing. We actually got a full zombie mode on the Japanese version.
Yeah.
It's because of those 2 extra shots.
Yeah, that lag.
As long as those 2 extra shots aren't on screen, you should never see that in the Japanese one. Even if it goes zombie mode, it'll come out of it almost instantaneously.
Right. I think we've seen some brief zombieing in one of the races that we saw, but for the most part, we absolutely haven't seen a full zombie mode like that, where the boss continues to move even though it's dead.
Yeah. Gotta love that lag.
Wow,
those doorways are stupid. They really are.
Oh, the doors to enter the boss areas?
Yeah.
Because they're all skewed to the left?
I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
You can enter them so far away from the left, but it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that's something. All these doors, all the small doors that only Jason can go through, their hitboxes are all farther to the left than they appear.
But that actually makes it nice for when you do the death abuse. Like when you used to do the death dungeon in the Area 7 skip, since it always was skewed to the left, you could bounce a little bit far to the left and you're still okay. You can still do the trick.
Right, and it lets you get into most of the dungeons sooner because, you know, you're generally coming at all of them from the left side. Other than, I think, 2 exceptions.
Yeah, Area 5 you come at from the right, and Area 2 you come at from the right. All the rest you come at from the left.
Yeah, I'm not sure where Mediocrity or Bust went. I don't see him saying anything in the race channel. Maybe something IRL came up.
Maybe.
I thought he fully intended to keep going and finish this out, and he's got 2 areas left. He's almost.
Yeah, he's in the final stretch of the game.
Yeah, it's 2 areas left. But yeah, that was an interesting. That was just an interesting run that I did. I was just sloppy the entire, basically.
Alright, so Dragoon, you're already done with 3 out of your 4 races. The only person you have left to race is Uranium Anchor.
Yeah, I think if I just sent him a message, we could set something up pretty quick. Probably.
We have weeks to go. You have so much time. You don't need to be in a rush.
I'm really looking forward to the Dragoon Uranium Anchor match.
Yeah, you can still do the death right there. It looks about the same.
He's back. There he is. Death warps back to. That's actually not one that you wanted to take.
I've done that before. I wasn't paying attention and I died 3 times and like, oh, that was.
Ooh, I don't think he knows how to grab onto the ladder. Okay, he figured it out.
Yeah, there we go.
Grabbing onto that ladder is odd. You can't just jump and hold up. You have to jump, and then right when you're overlapping the ladder, you have to hold A and then hit up. But you can't just hold A through the whole jump. You have to release and repress A when you're on top of the ladder and then hit up.
I don't think you need to hit up at all. Oh, wait, you hit up to fall off of it?
To grab onto the ladder.
You hit A to grab onto the ladder. I just hit A, and then I double tap A, and then I hit A and double tap A. That's all. You don't need any D-pad.
Oh. Well, never mind.
I don't know. Did you forget how to grab the ladder already?
Say again?
Nothing.
Okay.
You sound like you're talking to us through a tin can right now, Dragoon.
Doing his best.
I don't know why.
I made you a little louder so we can at least hear you. It's okay.
Is it doing this earlier? Or did it just screw up again?
I don't remember.
Since you've tried being in the call with us after this race, it's been like that. I don't know about during...
Yeah, I think the time when you commentated
earlier.
It wasn't like this.
No. Then
Okay,
again,
yeah.
I was on my laptop.
Well, MediocrityOrBust is back to Area 1 again. He's making his way forward here. This is our last time seeing Area 1. See you later, Area 1. Making his way towards Area 7 now. He needs to go from Area 1 to Area 2 to Area 7. He's going to put his Wall 1 upgrade to use. He did pick up the Flashing Hover. That's one that some people have been getting, some people haven't. It all depends on how you plan to do Area 7 and whether or not you've planned out any hover strats, assuming you do plan to get it.
Okay, yeah. I don't know.
Alright, so while Mediocrity is finishing up here, let's take a second and go over our upcoming races, which I don't think we have too many right now. There's Substyly versus Zenik Reverie tomorrow, but I do believe that's going to be rescheduled because Zenik has a hand injury at the moment.
Yeah, he said he cut it open or something along those lines.
Yeah, so he definitely needs time to heal that up, so that's... I'd assume that race is not going to happen. So we have Highlander GCB against Mellis tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern for all of you early morning peoples.
Wait, when did that get put on the schedule?
That must have just gotten added.
I don't remember seeing that. Yeah, that just showed up. Oh man, I thought I was gonna sleep in. Too bad.
Poor Feasel.
Yeah, that wasn't there. That wasn't there before this race started. Actually, that just showed up. That's cool. All right.
And then we have Mr. PUBG against Mediocrity or Bust on April 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to try to schedule one of my races over the next couple days here, so I might have a race coming for you guys in the next couple days, but other than that, that's our schedule for the moment. We need to get people in Group D to start scheduling their matches, and yeah.
Half the people in Group D left, so I mean...
Well, only one of them that I know of has left, and they've also been replaced. It was right when they said they needed to leave, somebody else wanted to get in, so we just swapped them in and out.
Oh, did we put Kazakhs or whatever back in?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Have you talked to Kazakhs? Is he actually knows he's in now, right?
I don't know. He knows he's in.
He said he wanted to be in, and I said okay, but I don't know if he's actually contacted any of his opponents.
All right, I'll send him a message after this stream and just let him know in case he isn't aware.
I think he assumed he was going to get back in too, so he should be ready.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know.
But I know Big John's ready to go. He's been practicing Blaster Master a lot.
Oh, good. I was worried. I hadn't heard from him, but that's good. Yeah, Big John played Blaster Master a while back. Started it before I even started speedrunning it, and is a really entertaining streamer all around. And he's the origin of the Fred the Frog story. And he's really good to see.
I literally might not even be running a Blaster Master if it wasn't for Big John. I picked up a cart for really cheap, and I told John I was interested in possibly learning the game because I loved it since I was a kid, and he was like, here, let me just shut down my stream for 3 hours and teach you this game.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
what a good dude.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy.
I think I got into this because of watching old PGDQ.
Probably UA running it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed UA's runs back in the day too, but he actually, once he finished doing his GDQ runs, sort of stopped streaming that game. So it was actually Scavenger watching his stream that made me want to pick this up. We're doing a little bit of exploration here in the block shooting section. He at least knows that he can do the pause unpause to clear out or to reset the blocks in case he gets stuck.
I have to admit, when I was started my runs of this, well, not even starting my runs, even when I got like halfway decent at this game, I forgot that you could do this, and if I messed up the blocks, I would sometimes have to just leave the room and come back in because I forgot.
Oh no.
I mean,
that wasn't you screwing anything up. You were just manipulating the hover drop RNG for on the way to Area 8. That's all you were doing.
The funny thing about this game is, like, so the pausing obviously fixes it, but even just scrolling the screen makes it so that the blocks reappear.
Yeah, you could do that in an overhead section. Just destroy some blocks, slightly scroll them off screen, and come back, and the blocks would be back. And you could even, like, only scroll half the block. Yeah, you could scroll half the block off screen and scroll it back, and you would have half a tile on screen.
Alright, well, he made it through there. That's alright.
Making progress.
I highly doubt he knows the skip.
I don't think he's going to go for this skip, but we'll see. We'll see.
I know I didn't go for the skip because I managed to jump early because I was being distracted, and then I fell into the fire.
I saw that you were in the fire. That was interesting.
It's the second time I've done it on stream in these races. And it's the second time I've ever done that.
He's in the room. He's waiting by the door. Come on, the anticipation. Is he going to do it? What's he doing?
Nah. Actually, yeah.
He's doing something in this room. Oh, wait, he's moving on.
Okay.
Maybe he was looking up a map to make sure he can go the right way, because this is a confusing level.
Oh, no, yeah.
Okay. I was wondering if he stopped in that room and he was going to look up a video of how to do the skip and figure it out.
Great.
Like, oh, no, abort!
Right.
I didn't trust myself being able to do lava skip first try, so I'm like, I'm gonna take the safe road and we're going to do this area normally. Because I've messed up almost everything else in this run, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna mess something up. Make that screwed.
Taking a little bit of a detour there. This is a maze. This area is a maze. And we saw those block-breaking puzzles. Those rooms are meant to be puzzles. It's supposed to be difficult to figure out how you can make your way to the exit in those rooms. And so we get to see somewhat. I mean, he knows the route, but not to the point where it's all muscle memory. So we do get to see Mediocrity trying to figure these things out.
As long as he remembers he can go up the wall, but that's all that matters.
We did have... Oh, man, he better remember. Okay, good. Yeah, we did have somebody in one of these races who did not realize that you could do this without hover. And I have to admit that it took me a while to realize that I didn't need hover for this. Eventually, someone in my chat pointed it out. And then I went and tried it. And yeah, it turns out you can just go up the wall. I always thought that you had to farm hover here, even as a kid. Like the one time I got here, I did hover. Yeah, he's in now. He is... oh... Look at that.
Going for lava skip. He said he does not know how to do them.
Well, he sure does now.
If that's his first time trying them, he just nailed them.
He definitely said that he didn't do lava skips.
Dude, I mean, they weren't the cleanest lava skips I've ever seen, but he got them. He's low on life, though.
When you fail lava
Oh,
skip,
he stopped moving, though. He messed up the free one.
Yeah, that one's supposed to be free because all you gotta do is hold up.
But if you stop holding up, the enemy gets out of position, and it's really hard to get him to go into a position where you can get across again. Oh, is that a game over? Please no. Alright, take it safe, Mediocrity. No lava skips this time. He's going for it.
Of course he's gonna do lava skips. He gets the first two, which are the harder ones. This one here is a little bit tricky, but it's easier than the first two that he did.
I applaud his determination to get these.
Is he in the drink? He's in the drink.
Oh. Valiant effort, but ouch.
Oh, what's in there? Oh, I wanted him to go in there.
What's in there is a couple of those robot canister enemies that are in Area 4 that you would take damage off of. Well, I guess they're the same things that are in Area 7 that you use for lava skip. For a while, it's the plot of land you're on in there would be the top left corner of the dungeon area, because Area 7, all the dungeon areas are on one giant map, separated only by lava. That's why lava skip works or whatever. But yeah, you're all the way in the top left corner, and for a while I was trying to see if there was a way to skip across to the boss dungeon.
Wouldn't that be cool?
It would have required getting hit twice, and one of the hits would have had to have been while you were over on the lava already.
I don't think the game likes that.
Yeah, if it was going to work, it was going to be a frame perfect thing where you had to get hit by a bullet the exact frame your iframes wore off to not drop into the lava. But I never was able to see if that actually worked.
But if you have the bullet on top of your hitbox, like if there is a bullet that's firing and your hitbox is pretty big, wouldn't that immediately hit you the first frame you come out of iframes?
I don't know.
No, I tried that a few times, and every time I just still ended up dipping into the lava anyways.
Well, if that didn't work, then I don't think anything's going to.
Maybe the lava has priority. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something I was exploring before the task skip came to be.
I feel like the task itself would have probably figured it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
But to be fair, the task didn't figure out the first Area 7 skip either, though.
Well, but at least they like the water skips. They knew how water skips work. So I assume.
Very true. Very true. I don't know. That's part of what I still love about this game is it seems like there's still so much left to find. Like every time we think that we have a route concrete in this game, something else comes to be.
Well, I mean, I just changed the water skips to make them a lot more annoying.
Yeah, I don't even do your new water skip strats because, yeah, not worth it. I mean, it is a time save, but it's so annoying.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it can do the new skips better than the old skips. I don't know why.
I suck at both of them, so... Either way, I'm dipping into the water.
Well, it's in its own way, the water skips are almost slightly easier in some ways than the fire skips, but there's so many of them that it's so easy just to mess up one, and you're like, well, that was gosh awful.
I think water skips are infinitely harder than lava skip.
Alright, remember where the dungeon was, man. You got this. Although there is the thing where you go the wrong way so many times that you think it's the right way. I've done that while driving in my car. It's like, oh yeah, I know where I am now. I've seen this before. Oh yeah, I see this because I'm going the wrong way. Good job.
Didn't you say you did that on the way to pick me up at AGDQ? Like you went the wrong way on the way to the train station or something?
Oh, I've never been in DC before, so I mean, that's just... Well, I mean, I've been in DC, but I'd never drive in DC.
I gotcha.
So I didn't know where that train station was in the first place. I'm like, let's just hope GPS is good enough to get me there. And he's going for it again. Alrighty then.
He's determined. I will give him that. He is determined to get him. This is his last life, though, so you might want to consider just going the long way.
Is he considering going the long way? No, he is not. No, he is not. Oh, dang it. My follow alert is going on that little screen, isn't it?
Yeah, get your follower alerts off the restream, bro.
Yeah. Thanks for that follow, though, obviously, but... Let's just take that source off in a second.
I don't think your follower alerts are that annoying or distracting. It's not an issue, dude. It's not like they're coming up dead center in the middle of your stream, taking up the whole game feed.
So, is that a challenge?
No, that's not. You son of a bitch.
I'll put I'll give it a new little image, make it centered. I don't know. Maybe I'll find a picture of your face and just blow it up.
Oh god.
Thanks for the follow.
It's just me with both thumbs up, just like a cheesy grin on my face.
It wouldn't make sense, but I could do it. But yeah, so these areas, obviously, neither of us went for the Area 7 skips for this last run, but...
Mediocrity because he doesn't know him, Dragoon because he's a wuss.
Yeah, I've told other people I'm never going for the first one, even in the end, so... Whatever. It's a
Well, no, that
promise.
first one is understandable. That's complete RNG.
So yeah,
And
that,
you know what? You not going for the second one is also a very smart move in this race, I feel, because you're obviously ahead, so...
well, I lost to 0-9 because I didn't actually realize how good he was. So I'm like, okay, I game overed in Area 7. I'll just try it. I'll just do it normal this time, and maybe I'll still have a chance. And he beat me by a good 20 or 30 seconds. Basically because I didn't go for the skip the second time around. Well, and the fact I killed myself in lava 4 times doing the lava skips. Because I'm good at games.
Well, I think that this time he's got it. I have confidence that he's had enough practice at this that he's going to be through this. On to the final area.
Yep, this is it.
If my voice is still doing that robot thing, maybe
You
it's
sound way better. What happened?
Yeah, all of a sudden you're like crystal clear.
like right now.
Right
Like
now, you
the
sound like a normal
minutes.
human being.
Is it back to bad now, or is it fine now?
Good.
It's fine.
Okay then. I literally just opened and closed the settings on Discord one last time. Maybe it just decide, hey, he can do it.
Yeah, that was it.
Whatever. Technology is great.
Alright,
It
so
would be interesting to
first
see
step.
someone go for
Oh.
the long route. It's been such a long time since I've even done it.
well, I guess in your race with Zero earlier, he took like the half long route. He didn't take the death abuse after the second Area 7 skip, so he went and grabbed the flashing hover instead, or the flashing health instead.
Yeah, maybe it was trying to take my webcam's mic.
Yeah, that's got to be what it is.
It was. I'm impressed because I'm decently far away from my webcam. All things considered.
Oh, mediocrity. Why? I want to see him get this so bad. Oh, that's unfortunate. Another dip
I've
into the
done
lava.
that so many times. I do it more on the water skips though. Oh no.
Yeah, hopefully this
But-
time he'll just go for the normal skips. I mean, those lava skips aren't crazy difficult, but they're nothing that you want to just try incorporating into your run on the fly when you're not familiar with them. They're definitely something you want to spend some time practicing.
So on the first 2 lava skips, you need to basically get hit almost at the last. Well, the way it works out. Well, technically, you don't need to be at the last pixel. It's just the way that you do them fast. You basically need to get hit at the perfect pixel almost to make it without falling into the lava. If you take them safe, it's not impossible to mess them up. Obviously, because that's why I failed them 4 times in a row. It was great.
Yeah, if you do them straight, you have a pretty generous timing window to be able to pull them off. If you go for the diagonal versions, you don't have much leeway at all. But I really haven't been seeing anybody go for the diagonal ones in this tournament. I did, but I don't know if anybody else has yet. It's just because it's been so long since I've done the straight versions of it that I don't remember how to do the non-diagonal ones.
Now, if I do the non-diagonal ones, I kind of have to do the strat where you hit 2 hits basically.
Yeah, use the first one to set your timing and then move on the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I have to go with the the cardinal direction variation of those skips. That's why I just say screw it and go with the diagonal.
Now I really want us to do Area 4 in this tournament for some reason, so I can do the water skips, because they're fun. Water skips are pretty great.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. And I think I'm not a fan of them just because I'm not good at them.
Bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum.
Alright, so Mediocrity's making his way back through Area 7 here. He's in the room that is the home of the second Area 7 skip, but he's not going to go for those. Which is a smart move. I mean, they're risky. There's some soft lock potential on the second one. If you don't know exactly what you're doing. What?
No, it's just that we've had so many people soft lock on that that skip for some odd reason this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, when that new strat for doing that was discovered by 09, we were like, oh, this is so much safer now. Nobody's going to soft lock this in the tournament anymore. Oh, man. All that turned into is more soft locks, I think. Because if it was still the frame perfect or soft lock only way of doing it, nobody would be going for it in a race.
Wait a second.
But now that it's not a frame perfect thing, everybody wants to try to put it in their run, but it's even though it's not frame perfect anymore, if you execute it wrong, you're still going to soft lock. So there is still risk involved. But I think because it seems like everybody is going for it now, it's also leading to everybody feeling like they have to go for them now, which is, again, causing more soft locks, because I think what we're seeing is people that aren't necessarily comfortable with them going for them anyways because they feel like they have to.
I do feel like, though, that people are getting better at them, though, because they are going for them more often.
Yes. And because they are soft blocking on them, they're also learning what not to do during them.
Yeah.
The easiest way to learn what you don't want to do during that is to do that, because then you learn firsthand how much of a time loss it is.
I think the second Area 7 skip saves about 20 to 30 seconds.
Okay, the second Area 7 skip, if you're doing it the frame perfect or soft lock method, saves about 30 seconds if done optimally, 25 if done suboptimally. If you're doing it with the new strat, where it's not frame perfect or soft lock, it saves 20 to 25 seconds depending on how quick you are. The first Area 7 skip is closer to about 50 to 55 seconds.
Looks like he's going for it. As in normal.
Good.
Technically, you can do some slightly safe skips in this area.
Yeah, I'm getting tired. I need to go to sleep soon, so hopefully he can finish it up relatively quick here. Good call taking the long way, though. I mean, like I said, those lava skips are something that you really have to practice and know what you're doing on. They're not something you want to just on a whim try to put into your run. And I give him credit. He was getting really close a couple of the times.
Well, his first try was his best try.
Yeah, and I mean, the only reason he failed that was because he didn't know that you have to just keep holding up on the last one. He stopped moving vertically after the enemy was on screen, which screwed everything up.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, sometimes even, like, when you know what you're doing, every once in a while, sometimes you, like, just freeze or whatever. Because you, like, got distracted, I don't know. And then you're like, oh crap, how do I do this skip now?
Yeah, it's hard to get that enemy into a position where it'll shoot you and you can get across. It just never wants to cooperate after that. You just grab the 4-gun power up. Alright, just hold up Mediocrity. Why? Oh, no! He was holding up, he got hit by the bullet, and then he instantly started moving down again. He had it, though. Yeah, that final lava skip, literally that's all you have to do is just hold up. Be on the... You don't even have to be on the right-hand side of the walkway, you just have to not be on the far left of the walkway. But as long as you are holding up, you're in good shape. You're gonna make it every time.
If I remember correctly, if you're like all the way on that left, it won't hit you correctly, and you can't do it.
I think it's a 3-pixel strip on the left-hand side of the walkway that you will not make the lava skip. So pretty much, for you to not make that skip just holding up, you have to be actively trying to not make it. He game overed again at the boss. Ouch.
I guess he doesn't know the other strat. So, when's that Fester's Quest marathon? /
Never.
Tournament?
Absolutely never.
No, fire. Okay.
No, I do plan on learning Fester's Quest at some point, just not necessarily anytime soon. I've got other projects on my plate.
To be honest, the any percent version of it isn't that bad. As obviously, the faster you try to go, the harder it gets. But if you take some safety strats, you can get like a 30-minute time pretty simply.
Yeah, but that would mean that I just spent 30 minutes of my life playing Fester's Quest.
Well, you're gonna have to spend more than that, because those dungeons are confusing. Gotta learn those dungeons.
Well, I did buy the cart for Fester's Quest, telling myself that I was going to learn it at some point, so...
The Nintendo that I actually bought on eBay, it came with 4 games. One of them was Fester's Quest, and the other 3 I really didn't care about. It was like it was Millipede, Racket Attack, and Galaga. Centipede and Galaga are actually pretty fun games, but
yeah, I've got a... I'd say my favorite version of Galaga was the one for TurboGrafx 16. Galaga 90, I think it was.
like better than the arcade version, or like the best port of it?
It's literally better than the arcade version. This one, not only can you sacrifice a ship and then re-rescue it and get a double ship, but you can do that again and get a triple ship.
I had a version of it for my cell phone, and I wasn't even able to do a double ship.
Yeah, well, Galaga 90 on TG16, you can get a triple ship going, and it is just fantastic. 10/10 would recommend.
For some reason, I never got into those side-scroller shooter types.
You know what? I've never gotten into shoot 'em ups really too much either, just because I'm bad at them. I really enjoy playing them and I like them. I just suck at them. The only shoot 'em up I've ever been able to do reasonably well in is Life Force on the NES, and I've beaten that one completely deathless. But that's the only shoot 'em up I've ever done that with, and I don't see myself ever doing that with another one because I'm just not good at the genre.
Was that Toad that was speedrunning Life Force, or was he doing another game?
No, Toad's done runs of Life Force, all of the Gradius games.
I think I was more watching his Gradius runs.
Yeah, I know Toad really wants to get a TurboGrafx 16 and EverDrive for it, because that console is shoot 'em up heaven. It really is.
I never really played much Contra in the first place.
I do some Contra 1 speed runs, but not really good ones. I'm not good at the game. I don't really speed run it. I just occasionally fire it up and play through it. If you're asking us to do one right now, that's not something that's going to be feasible on this channel right now, because this is a tournament race, and after this race is over, it's going to be the end of our broadcast for the day. It's midnight here for me, and I need to get to sleep soon. We just want to let Mediocrity finish off this run, since he's been playing for so long. And
if he decides by himself that he wants to end it.
Yeah, we're not going to just cut him off an hour and a half in and go, "You're done, bro." That would just not be right. He was willing to give us his time to do this race. Feasible.
I feel like by the end he'll probably have a slight average time.
Yeah. Oh no,
Like,
Mediocrity's a good speedrunner. Give him some time and he'll be putting up sub 40s.
I hate you so much, little dudes.
So what do you think the chances are of seeing a sub 30 in this tournament, Dragoon?
According to my sum of best, I don't think I technically can. I might be able to without doing both skips, but it'd be like, why the hell didn't I do the other skip? And that could have been like almost a sub 29.
Yeah, I hear you.
But if someone does both skips, I could see a sub 29 possibly, but that'd probably be. It would probably be you.
You mean a sub 30?
Or whatever. No, sub 29 now. That's what we're talking about.
Wow.
It's either you, Orpheus, sub. I don't know how Uranium's doing on the Japanese version.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from him, whether he's been practicing with it or learning any of the nuances of it or anything.
No, he definitely told me that he was. He picked it up. There's a regular P. Where's the hyper P? There's supposed to be one right there. Whatever.
In all honesty, the only way I think I'm going to go for the first Area 7 skip from now, since I did it in that last race, is if like I'm way ahead to where I can fail it and not really worry about the time loss. Or if
you're so far behind.
No. Or if I'm on PB pace.
Or if you're PB pace, okay.
If I know I'm PB pace entering Area 7, I have to go for both skips, because for me to be on PB pace is not something that's going to happen too often. So we got Dragoon fighting the Geometry Wars over here.
And I did a secret strategy that only the cool kids do.
What's that? They get hit by 2 of the laser beam strategy?
Nah.
The reset warp. Oh, the glitch title screen.
Yeah, baby.
Wait, you're not gonna have hover.
Nah. You have little faith.
Wait. How did you pick that up without warping back to the entrance of the dungeon?
As long as the black screen happens, you're good.
So you can pause, but if you pause during the screen transition, I thought you couldn't hit start to continue on.
Reset. Like, just reset during the black screen, and you're good.
Yeah, but then you can't hit start on the title screen.
Never had that problem.
Do I have to start running any percent again? Damn it.
Well, you do how many reset warps? Like 2 of them? And each one you're only losing maybe like a half a second for that black screen transition. That's not really going to change your time.
Oh, so you still have to wait through the whole jingle and everything?
Yes, you can't.
Okay. I
Yeah,
thought
you
you were
have-
saying it like as soon as you picked up the item, you were just...
No. As soon as that black screen hits, you're good. So you have to still listen to the entire jingle. If you reset during that jingle, you don't. You'd have to like go back and get the item.
Alright, Mediocrity with another game over. I don't want to do this, but I think I'm going to tell him in the SRL channel that if he game overs again, we're going to have to call it, because I really can't be up much later.
Well, I'm almost at my spot. Yeah, and that jingle takes a while too. If you could just pick up the item and you're golden, that'd be great, but you can't. Alright, let's see if I can do these water skips. Alright. Okay, got that one. Yeah. Ah, I went too early. I think it's because I hit the enemy that it screwed me up. There we go. Nah, I don't feel like doing that skip. Bum, bum, bum. Alright, let's see. And so this is the boss that we never see. The green boss is actually exceedingly, green frog's exceedingly early to easy to kill. It starts off doing a tongue attack.
Oh, you don't go with the top strat?
No, I usually do. I just didn't feel like doing it. It makes it super easy on this boss as well. I just didn't do it. Alright, he's almost at the dungeon. Okay, let's see if I can do it. Oh, okay, it still spawned. That's good. Oh, nice. That guy spawned too. And water skips, yeah! Literally, the only use Area 4 has is you get the key! Yeah, I was thinking about going for that ladder jump. I've never actually tried to do it. The key literally I'll still unlock the doors like normal, but the key literally just unlocks the way to Area 5. That's why we don't need it, because we can glitch through the doors. Wait, did he fall into the lava? Wait, how did he die? Where am I going? But yeah, so what the key does, literally, that's what you do. Then you get to go up this guy. Alright, so...
So, little thing about the suicide jump here, Dragoon. Are you gonna go for the suicide jump?
Why not?
You don't have to jump.
No, okay, I didn't try to jump.
Hold right, run right off the edge, and then you just have to hit A in the air.
Okay, so you just hold right, and then you're good.
Yep, just hold right.
So they made it slightly easy-ish.
Yeah, you just literally hold right the entire time and then press and hold A when you're overlapping the ladder.
Okay,
Now
yeah.
that turret there will snipe you, will throw you off your trajectory if it hits you in the air though, so...
Because
something to
basically,
maybe-
though, even in no death warps, we don't do that. We just go... And then
There
we
you go,
unlock that
good
door.
grab. That's the intended way of...
But there's also... Why can't I... Oh, you...
Oh, you're gonna do the door glitch way?
I didn't realize that it would look like this when I did the door glitch. That's great. But there's also another way you could do this if you didn't trust yourself to grab that ladder. You just go boop, and then you would go to the left here and unlock it like that.
Wait, what the hell are you doing?
Well, see, I did the screen wrap, right? And then so I can't go up the ladder.
Oh, I got you, so you were just jumping through. Okay.
Yeah, so it looks like I'm climbing up
Oh.
the mountain.
You drop down onto the lock.
Yeah, that's
Interesting.
another way you can do it. But it lets you get your. No, it's technically no. Yeah, it's technically slower. I think maybe. I don't know. Well, it looks like he died again. Oh, even if you use a continue, those things are still unlocked. That's good to know. Makes sense, but it's good to know. Wait, where did I get hover? Oh, I must have gotten one from the turret.
Alright guys, on that note, now that this race is over, we're gonna call it. Make sure you follow both of the runners. Give Mediocrity a follow. He really wanted to finish this run for you guys. He really tried. Again, this is a really new game for him, a new run. He's just learning it, so... You guys will see him improve as this tournament progresses. He's a good gamer, he just needs to learn this game, and I'm sure it's not easy having your first race of the game being against the former world record holder and super beast that is ShiningDragoon.
Well, I soft locked the game, so that's where I'm gonna end my little part too. But if you do the screen wrap enough, you can respawn your tank, which I find hilarious. Like, if you leave it in the other room.
Nice. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for us. Thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out. The only races we have on the sheet right now are Highlander GCB against Mellis at 10 in the morning Eastern Time tomorrow, and Mr. PUBG against MediocrityOrBust on April 9th. At 9 p.m. Eastern. Look for Mediocrity to iron out some of the kinks in the run and put forward a strong showing on April 9th, because, yeah, that's how Mediocrity is. He's a beast. He will get this down in no time. So yeah, you got anything else, Dragoon?
Nah, I'm good. I'm done.
Alright, cool.
I think we talked about basically everything we ever wanted to talk about.
For Feasel and Dragoon, I am Scavenger216. Thanks again for watching, guys. We will see you for the next race.
All right.
Later.